They searched and they searched. They dug and they dug. Her husband said she ran off with a boyfriend on Valentine's Day. Police had a different theory, so they dug and they dug. This is Linda Bowdre. On February 14, 1988, Linda went missing. And for 35 years, police have dug for answers. When Linda was a young girl, she played the clarinet and danced ballet. Reflecting back to those happier times, her mother Joan said, "She was the most outgoing and happiest child. She never met an enemy." Then Joan's voice begins to crack. "I pray for her soul every night. I pray she's in heaven and she can play all the instruments." Linda's mother and stepfather Ray McCurdy were convinced from the very beginning that their daughter was dead. If she was alive, she would have contacted her mother. They were very close, said Mr. McCurdy. Police agreed with the McCurdys. Though Linda's body has never been found, detectives have always regarded her vanishing on Valentine's Day 1988 as a homicide. But why was everyone so convinced that Linda didn't just decide to walk away from a failed marriage and a love affair that was, shall we say, a little complicated? What were the pieces of this puzzling disappearance that just didn't fit? 39-year-old Linda Bowdre was an AT&T manager. She and her husband Larry had been married for 18 years, and things had become rocky between the two. According to friends, Linda planned to file for divorce and was fearful of her husband because he had beaten her in the past. Linda had fallen in love with a coworker and was preparing to move out of the house as soon as possible. Larry Bowdre was a substitute teacher at a local high school and an assistant college professor of zoology. He knew about Linda's affair and her plans to file for divorce. But Larry had plans of his own. He decided to write a couple of letters. The first letter went to the estranged wife of Linda's lover. In the letter written on February 8, 1988, he asked her to delay her own divorce until he could change Linda's mind about leaving him. He wrote, "My wife and I have been husband and wife for 18 years. I love her very much, and I have forgiven her for her adultery. If you can give me any help, I need it desperately." The second letter was written to Linda's boyfriend. It was unsigned and placed in his mailbox. The letter read, "How would you like a mason jar of burning gasoline to come through your bedroom window some evening? It will if you continue your adulterous affair with my wife. I have suffered long enough, and I am about to take this action that I hope will kill or maim you." So this is what Linda and Larry's marriage had become. She was yearning to move on with her life, and he was desperately trying to hold on to her. And then on Sunday, February 14th, some mysterious things took place. On the most romantic day of the year, Linda agreed to go out to breakfast with Larry at a Bob Evans restaurant. At around 11 a.m., Linda made a call to her boyfriend from the restaurant. A roommate picked up and told Linda that he wasn't home, so Linda left a message. The boyfriend would later tell police that he neither saw or heard from Linda after that phone call. Once they left the restaurant, no one but Larry would ever see Linda Bowdre alive again. Linda never missed a day at work, and she was always punctual. When she missed several appointments and didn't come into work on the 15th and 16th of February, her employer became concerned and called police to report her missing. When police went to the Bowdre residence to check on Linda, they noticed that several of the home's windows were open. The temperature that day was just 40 degrees. The other odd detail officers noted was that Linda's gold Acura Legend was in the driveway. As they approached the house and Larry opened the front door, they could smell the strong odor of bleach. Officers notified Larry that Linda's employer reported her missing. Larry told the officers that he last saw his wife on the 14th when he left the house to take care of some personal business at 3:30 p.m. He said that Linda was gone when he returned 45 minutes later. He made it clear to the officers that he had no intention of filing a missing person report on his wife because she was having an affair and had disappeared in the past. He said she was probably with one of her boyfriends. Because of Larry's odd behavior and the mysterious circumstances surrounding Linda's disappearance, police were treating the case as a missing person with possible foul play. A search warrant served on the Bowdre home on March 2, 1988, said that police believe Linda Bowdre was murdered. Police confiscated 28 items from the Bowdre home. It included 2 kitchen cupboards with red stains, a muddy shovel, and 84 computer disks. Police also had a computerized file that Larry kept on his wife's boyfriend. Officers noted that all of Linda's clothes were still in the home and no money had been taken. Larry stated to police, "In situations like this, the jealous husband is always the prime suspect. I know she's been murdered, and I'm the prime suspect." The search for Linda led police to drain a cistern next to the home to see if her body had been disposed of there. When they found no trace of her, they began to dig up the garden near the Bowdre home. Police were searching for jewelry, dental fillings, or a possible murder weapon. While they were searching every square inch of the garden with a metal detector, a report came back confirming that a geologist matched the fresh soil samples taken from the garden with the shovel that was confiscated from the Bowdre home. As investigators continued to sift through buckets of dirt for any clue of Linda, Larry told the police, "I hope you find her. You're going to have a hard time making a case without her body. She could be held against her will, lying in a ditch, or out at the landfill." Was Larry taunting the police, or was he just an angry, frustrated husband that wanted to know what had become of his missing wife? Then a new lead came in. Police were called to a post office. Linda's purse was found in a mailbox at the post office's Dalton Street annex. Her purse contained personal items and credit cards. Many pieces of circumstantial evidence were beginning to pile up, even though suspicions were growing that Larry had something to do with his wife's vanishing. There was still not enough evidence to prosecute him. Assistant Police Chief Dave Heimpold had this to say, "We're not really sure whether or not a crime has been committed. We have no direct evidence against Larry Bowdre, but we are also not treating this like a missing person." With little to go on in the case, each day brought mounting frustration. Linda's family begged authorities to leave no stone unturned. The Sheriff's Department assured Linda's parents that they intended to check out each and every possible lead that came in. Linda's stepfather offered a $5,000 reward for the conviction of whoever was responsible for their daughter's disappearance. The offer generated no phone calls. "You can't imagine what it's been like," he said. 3 local psychics aided police in their search for Linda. One of them told police that Linda was buried near Springdale and Park Roads in Winton Woods. A park ranger on patrol found a freshly dug grave-like spot near that location. The hole was large enough to put a body in. Police dug down 2 to 3 feet deep before hitting clay and abandoning the dig. The soil samples from that location did not match any of the soil found on the Bowdre's garden tools. This Valentine's Day will mark the 35th anniversary of Linda Bowdre's disappearance and possible murder. Larry Bowdre's lawyer, Mark Hardig, said at the time that his client knew nothing of his wife's whereabouts or what may have happened to her. Investigators have worked tirelessly on Linda's case from day one. As recently as 2002, Springfield Township detectives Eric Catron and Pat Kemper sifted through dirt on the Bowdre's property, searching for Linda's remains. Police would not divulge what prompted them to search that area of the property again. While couples celebrated the romantic holiday, things took an unexpected turn for Linda. Did she finally have enough of her troubled life and take an opportunity to just disappear? Did Linda have another man in her life that no one knew about? A man that she gave up everything for? Or did her jealous, desperate husband take matters into his own hands to keep Linda from ever leaving him? In one of the last interviews given, Linda's mother, Joan, now in her 90s, had this to say about her daughter. "I finally had to take my daughter's pictures down. I couldn't keep walking past them. You never stop thinking about it or wondering what happened. It's something that you learn to live with. You have to learn to live with it, or you'll go crazy. But if you think you can forget it for a day or two, you're wrong." Linda Bowdre was 5 feet 4.5 inches tall and weighed 125 pounds. She had long, light brown hair, her eyes were green, and she had a tan complexion. If you have any information that may help solve this cold case, please contact the Springfield Township Police Department at 513-729-1300. Thank you for tuning in today. If you like our videos and would like to help our channel grow, please consider sharing this video with a friend. Also, if you aren't already subscribed to EOJ, please consider doing so. It's completely free and it's the best way to stay in the loop about our channel and get notified when videos will be uploaded. As always, stay well and be safe. Until we see you again with another cold case, this has been Eye on Justice.